as you can see, we got power. So for my 70 shooting star. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time stopping in, go down below and hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Today, as you guys saw by the title and thumbnail, we are doing a Starlight headliner. In last video, we took this headliner and tore off the original fabric and completely put down, we stripped it down completely, took all the foam off of it and put down black suede. Came out really nice, looks great. Really common for people to do black suede. I think it looks amazing, and I wanted to go black and get rid of all this tan. In next video, we will be deleting all the tan pieces and doing something a little different. It's gonna look really good, I think, but today's video, we're doing the Starlight headliner from Adrenaline Off-Road. We're gonna go over all the specs about this whole headliner. It's 700 stars, 204 shooting stars. So this kit was sent to us from Adrenaline Off-Road. Huge supporter of the channel. They got the wheel lights on the truck from them, and the tailgate light bar we got from them as well. And we also have their new unreleased wheel lights that we're going to put on the second gen here when we have time, and it's not raining and 36 degrees outside. And also when I'm not getting home when it's dark. But other than that, Adrenaline Offroad Outfitters.com. Use promo code NEVERSATISFIED24V for $25 off your order of $100 or more. So like I said, this is a 700 piece Starlight headliner kit with 204 shooting stars. But these come with a 12-foot lant. The thickness of the fiber optic is 0.75 millimeter. It comes with a 12-foot lead, so plenty of room there to get across the cab and everything all the way to your front corners, and be able to tuck this in the back because you're gonna run down your C-pillar if my camera woman get together here to hide it under the back seat. And then for our power source, we have a 50-watt light engine, which the average is a 16 to 20 watt. So this one's more than double your average. So your light at the end of the stars is going to be a lot brighter than your average kit. And then we got the wiring for it right here. And then of course we got a hot glue gun to glue everything in place. A lot of people do use Gorilla Glue. I just wanted to use hot glue because it'll be dry instant instead of having to wait for the Gorilla Glue to dry. And then right here we have the shooting stars, 204 pure white shooting stars. Fiber optic is the same thickness, 0.75 millimeters. And then we also have the light engine box for that with his logo on it as well, because it's on the big one. Really cool touch he put on that. And then we got the wiring for that, for the power, the hardware screwed in, and then the Bluetooth controller comes with it as well. And the last specs I wanted to share with you guys, it's got a 2-year warranty on it. It's got the highest rated lifespan of 50,000 hours. It's got the Bluetooth controller like I shared, as well as the app for Android and Apple. And it's got a built-in microphone for sound activation. But we're going to go ahead and flip over the headliner, start marking it out with a Sharpie, and then after that we're going to start poking holes through it. But we're going to go ahead and go over layout with you guys in a second, because we've been going back and forth about how we want to do it, if we want to put in like the Big Dipper or something like that, but we're still a little bit undecided, which we're going to figure out here in a second when we flip it over. But let's get to it.
Welcome to forever, man. Let's go. Come on, come on. This forever. No surrender, no surrender. Yeah, yeah. You know that this right here forever. Go, go. And there will be no surrender. Now allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me J.O.N. to the easy E. Know that we undefeated. Y'all are beneath them speeches trying to air a grievance, but his lines are overhead. Better check the air.
So I just went through with my Sharpie and marked it all off so we know where to keep the stars inside of. I split mine in half. Some people will split it into 4 sections, but since it's only an extended cab, not a mega cab or a crew cab, I only split it in half. So I'll go through and mark 350 on this side, she'll mark 350 on that side. We'll go through and drill it, start putting the fiber optic through, and then we'll go through on the bottom side, cut it all out, and then we'll get it all wired up and everything. But gonna be fun, gonna be tedious, and then we gotta make sure we don't count. Gotta make sure we count all the way through and not lose track. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go back through and count them all up, which is gonna suck. So here goes the long, tedious process of just dot, 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 dot. Wish us luck.
This is our credit, he the heir apparent. Really, I never been better. Legacy, this is forever. All the more times I've been severed. I'm raising the bar, you can go ahead and measure. Think about time for a toast. Time that we welcome to go. Yo, we're just leaving. I think about time that somebody go get on their coat. You know I got all that anthem. Come back, ain't what you call that at all. Got anthems and bands with masters, getting them right like my name was Miranda. I ain't bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. One more time.
Alright, so right now we're going over where we're going to put the shooting stars before we get too many. We're at 550 right now. As you can see, she's got 250 on her backside, and we get saturated a little bit more in the middle, and then 200 on this side. Right now we're gonna do layout for shooting stars. I'm gonna end up probably using like a red Sharpie so that way I can identify what the shooting stars are versus the regular stars.
Making sure that you know why, because this is forever.
So we got all 700 stars marked out, all across. And we got all of our shooting stars marked out. We got a couple of long ones, a medium one, and a shorter one. To do so, I just used a carpenter square, a framing square. Of course, it's freaking Milwaukee. And a laser. And then I also went through and used the paper because the laser didn't get down in the dips very well. So I used the paper with the same amount of spacing in between to go ahead and contour to that indentation right there, which actually worked out pretty good. I ended up moving this one over a little bit, that's why you see that. And then right here I actually marked a dot when I was tracing this out, so I exited out so I didn't actually poke that out. We're doing the fiber optics here in a second. But now that we got them all marked out, I'm happy. This is probably the hardest part, was sitting there and just trying to figure out where you want the shooting stars. You don't want them crashing into each other, and you don't want to overdo it or have them like all going the same way or coming out of the corners. So honestly, I was dreading this part the worst because layout is like the most important thing. It's just like setting up when you're doing anything construction. It's all about how you prep and how you set up, and your foundation sets you up for everything else. But anyways, this part's going to be easy. You just sit back, I'm going to throw in some music and just start drilling and start putting them through. I'm going to start up in the front point, in the front corner, so that way we don't end up running short or having to pull it to where I don't have enough slack to hang down, hide it behind underneath the seat. That's the biggest thing, is I'm just going to make sure going all the way along that I don't pull on it too much or pull too much through to where it kind of binds up and we end up running into a problem where I can't hide the box. And just to be safe, before we started running this, I wanted to make sure everything worked correctly. So I got a battery right here, and I'll hold it down. As you can see, we got power. Got the app running right here too, just to make sure everything works correctly, and it does. So time to start drilling.
I am the one that they paid us. Got something to say to me, say, you know I've been waiting so patiently. This is my legacy. Y'all don't believe me, they wait. Basically, I have been running things. You can just go on and take a seat. Yeah. Love when they hated me, put that on everything. Not on my level, you can't be the enemy. This is the plan that we showing them anyway. Hit up the lawyers and give them the NDA. Woo! This is the brand new. This is the brand new. Nothing you can do, nothing you can do. And there ain't no thing that you'll be taking from me. Man, it came from nothing, made it something. Name is buzzing, call me Ryan Gosling. Hey, gon' know that they gonna love me more when I'm gonna retire the throne. The kind of things that I'm gonna be feeling like a god, because this is forever. And there will be no surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here. Dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Dead than alive, yeah. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. Making sure that you know why, because this is really, I never been better. Legacy, this is forever. Really, I never been better. Legacy, this is forever. Really, I never been better. The legacy live on forever. Yeah, remember the legend and know that he never surrendered, because this is forever. And there will be no surrender. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever.
So as you guys can see, I just got all 700 stars put in, and I haven't done the shooting stars yet. I'm gonna do that at the very last. And if you come down here, you can see there's too much slack in all the stars. I haven't glued any of them in yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on gluing them all in, and I got a little trick up my sleeve. We'll see if it works out the way I planned it. If not, then we got a little bit of a mess going on here, but I think it's gonna work. Catch you guys up in a second. So as you guys can see, we wrapped up putting all the regular stars in. I ended up adding the extra ones that we had left over to the sides here, then also some in front, right in front of the visors to fill in all those spots. And right now I'm working on the shooting stars. I got the longest one done, which is 70. This one over here, which is 34. And I'm working on the second longest one, which is 62. And then I have the 38 left. But I wanted to go over a couple of things about the shooting stars because there's really no information online about them, how to install them, the sequence of them, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. So these ones come with 12 strands of 17, which equal 204 shooting stars. I went ahead and took each 17 strand, taped them off, and what I've been doing is I went through and broke them down into numbers. So for my 70, well, what I did was yes, this is not straight. I just went through and poked out a bunch of holes real quick, ran some stars through there because I wanted to see how the sequence will look with the pattern I'm doing. Because I'm not just doing one, a total of 12 stars to make one from each one. I'm going to do, some of them will be 7 long, some will be 3 long, so forth. So I'll break that down and show you guys what I mean. So for my 70 shooting star, which is the very long one, I took 6 times 11, which gave me 66, which means I would have 11 rows of 6 stars from the same strand, and then my very last strand would be 4 stars, because my leftover on the 12th strand would be 4 stars to make up that 70. Because if I put 6 in my last row, that would be 72, which means I'd have to drill 2 more holes, which means I would have been short 2 on another strand. So yeah, you could have laid these out to where they were all equal, but when I laid it out on here, I added 5. I did all 2s and then 5 on 1, and you couldn't really tell. It actually looked kind of cool. So I knew that I kind of had a good idea here. So that's kind of how I did it, and then the rest of them, I just broke it down. For the 38, 3 times 12, 36, so my leftover, the last one would be 5. For the 62, 5 times 12, 60, leftover 7. And then my very last one, that one was easy, 34, 3 times 11, 33, so my last one is 1, which it didn't look weird. I thought maybe with only having 1 on the last strand, it might look weird, but it didn't look weird. It actually looked really good. So here's what I'm doing. This 62, it's going to be they're all 5. And my leftover last one will be a 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm on the 9th strand. I've got 8 strands ran. So here's my 9th one. I'm going to go ahead and undo the tape right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull off 3, because 3 will be my leftover for the very last shooting star. And then what I'll do is make sure I got 3 here. Go ahead, separate them completely. And then I'll take the line with the 5 that's going to go in this line of shooting stars. Take the leftover 3, which will be for the very last shooting star. I'm going to go ahead and wrap these back up, and I'll throw it down in my pile and just keep grabbing from it that way and lining them up this way. That way I'm staying organized, not getting anything confused or messed up, because if you do that, you're screwed. So this is kind of the way I'm doing it, trying to keep it as clean as possible. I mean, it looks like a mess if you look over here, but it's a very organized mess. And as you guys can see, I also got, see, I'm just pulling from here and then putting them down here. Then once I'm done, I'll pull them all back up here and start all over again. But as you guys can see, I actually got these all nice and flat. I haven't got the shooting stars pulled down yet, but nice and flat compared to what it was before up here. So we are looking good. This is the most organized mess you could have. So I'm going to go ahead and take those 5 strands I just pulled off right here. And what I'll do is I'll just usually take the other 4 and put them in my mouth. Take this one I'm running. I want to run it underneath here. So I gotta pull this one tight still. And boom. Just like that. Take my next one. Same exact process. And then what I'll do is I'll run these 5. And then I'll run my next strand, so a total of 10. And I'll go through, double check, make sure I didn't skip a hole, because I did that on my first one, and I got to the very last one and I realized that there was 3 on the last one instead of 4 like there were supposed to be. So I went back and I was like, oh, I missed a hole. So I had to take all those out and go back a hole. So just make sure when you're going through, just go slow, take your time, double check, because once you glue it, that's it, game over. There's no going back after that. So that's why I went through and did a test piece to see how it would look, and going through double checking everything before I glue anything. Kind of like, measure twice, cut once. So Just trying to be really careful, and I just wanted to kind of give you guys these little tips that I'm using. But I'm going to go ahead and get going on finishing up this last, well, second to last shooting star. And then we got the 38 right here left over, which I still have to drill. But yeah, pretty easy, not too bad, just really time consuming. And like I said, just take your time, be patient, and it'll all come together. So like you guys just saw, we got all the spaghetti cleaned up. I got it mostly wrapped up with electrical tape. I'm gonna wait until we get it into the truck to do like my final cleanup of everything. But I'm gonna go ahead, we got it all flipped over right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start clipping all these spaghetti off the top of it, all the fiber optics. So right here, I just trimmed up a couple of the stars, which you guys probably can't see, but if I go ahead and turn them on, you can probably see them now. It's really bad in here with the lighting and all the shadows and everything, but I trimmed up a couple of them back to see how it look, and I can't feel them or anything. So I really think this is going to turn out really nice. So I just want to trim a couple of them up to see how it feel and how it look. And like I said, you can't film, it looks really good. And to do so, I just am using these multi-stranded flush wire cutters. And they have a little bit of an angle on them. So that way I can get completely flat without messing up the headliner. What I'm doing is I'm just going in and getting down on it without pushing down too far because I don't want to cut into the fabric. Snip. Boom. Can't feel it. So as you guys can see, we just got done wrapping up, cutting all of the fiber optics off the headliner. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill the lights and we'll show you guys what it looks like in the dark. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the headliner. I think it came out absolutely amazing. I'm super stoked. I think it looks really good. Thanks again to my wife for helping me out. She designed and laid out all the stars and kind of came up with the whole idea of how we were going to lay it out. Ideas as far as what to do, what not to do. I cut the back ones to where you couldn't feel them. And as you can see right now, you can see the front ones more prominently. I left them a little bit out of the headliner so you can feel the front ones, you can't feel the back ones. And if I kill the lights here, you can tell on the back ones, you can still see them in the dark. So they still look good, especially when they're underneath. You got to think it's going to be flipped over and the other way, so you'll be seeing them from up at the ground looking up. So the back ones you'll still see just fine. So that's one tip I wanted to share with you guys. It's personal preference if you want to make it so you can't feel them, or if they stick out. Obviously, they stick out, they're going to be brighter than in the back where they're nice and flat. They just aren't as bright, which, again, it's not going to be as bad once it's in the truck, flipped upside down, and you're looking at the ground looking up at it. I think it's going to be just fine. The shooting stars, there's multiple different settings with it. If I run over here and grab the controller, bunch of different settings that you can play around with, which I'll do once we get it into the truck. And then as far as color, tons of different colors like you guys saw in the little montage. You can slow it down, speed it up, whole bunch of different stuff you can do with it. But we'll get into that more. Nice. But we'll go into more detail about that when we get it into the truck. I still have to wrap the sun visors, the A pillars, and the C pillars, and I might do the door panels as well. I'm going to end up painting them in probably in a black trim paint, which I'll talk about more when we do that. Next video is going to be talking about a couple of packages that showed up. It seems like every single day we're having packages show up for the Fortune, which I'm super excited for that build. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think showed up for that thing. Like I said, we ordered a lift for it, and some other parts. I don't know exactly what I talked about. Can't really remember at this point, but I'm not gonna talk about anything other than that. But I'm super happy with how the headliner came out. I think it looks good. If you guys want to pick up one of these kits for yourself, check out adrenalineoffroad.com. I'll put a link down below and use promo code NEVERSATISFIED24V to save yourself $25 off. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make ssure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go down below and hit the subscribe button. And if you made it this far to the end of the video, I really appreciate all your support, and we'll see you in the next upload. But these come with a 12-foot lead, and the thickness of the fiber optics is 0.75 millimeters. And then right here we have the shooting stars, which, like I said, we got 200 pure white shooting star. Baby, stop.
I literally just.
I'm just trying to do it in one quick kit.
You need to stop.
Okay.
What's in that Mountain Dew? Is that your dad?